Hello everyone, welcome to my vlog. So first of all, I would like to apologize everyone. I didn't vlog for a while. I've been extremely busy. There's so much going on in my life right now and I'm trying to manage all of it, and I'm sure you guys know how that feels where things kind of slips out of hands. But I'm back and I'm gonna be trying to vlog as much as possible and share with you guys all those interesting stuff. So before I jump into my today's vlog, I just want to say that I still have a couple of spots available for my workshop in Toronto. If you guys from Ontario or New York or some places close to Toronto, I would love to attend this workshop. Please feel free to join it. As I said, I have a couple more spots, so I would love to see your faces there. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be more than happy to answer all of them. So let's jump into today's vlog. Today's vlog, I would like to dedicate it and talk a little bit about negotiations. So several days ago, I have received an email from one of my viewers, and he basically told me that he actually got some potential clients. He met with them, seems like everything went okay, and they received an email saying that they picked someone else. And he was kind of concerned maybe he did something wrong during those negotiations, maybe his work was not good enough, maybe the prices. So he would like to give him a little bit of, I would say, advice how I deal with negotiations. So I'll be more than happy to do that, and I'm gonna go through 10 points which I'm going through every time where I'm actually have the client. I have to sit down with them and negotiate the deal or potential job. And before I jump into this, I just want to say that there's a lot of factors which make the kind of weight if you're gonna get hired or not. And sometimes it's not only the price, it's the work. There's some other things which you have to kind of put together in order to get a job. But I always say that it's better to be prepared for those kind of negotiations and know how to deal with them to make the best impression possible. So then you at least know you didn't screw up along the way with approaching the business and then dealing with them. And I'm actually, this is my, I would say, 12 years of experience which I'm going to put on the table right now, because I've been negotiated a lot of different deals. Sometimes I got them, sometimes I didn't, but at least I know I had some kind of guideline how to go through them, and I'm gonna share that with you today. So there's 10 points, and I'm gonna try to go through all of them and explain to you how I approach negotiation. So let's start with number one. So whenever you get potential client and they want to meet with you and they schedule the time and you have to just show up there. So one of the things what I always want to make sure I'm always there on time. There's nothing worse than being late for those kind of meetings. I had those situations before. Again, learned big time and I didn't get the contract, but nowadays I always want to be at least from 15 to half an hour before the meeting. On the top of that, it's extremely important to know where you're going. Most of us living in big cities, and for example, my corporate meetings are always in downtown, and there's always issues with parking, with traffic, with finding the spots, getting into the buildings. There's a lot of things which might actually slow you down to get to the meeting on time. So before you even go to the meeting, make sure where you're going, where to park, how to get into the building, and even if you have a million questions to the person who's organizing this, please ask them, because there's, as I said, nothing worse that not be prepared to be on time. And this is huge. I found that that shows your respect to the potential client, and also what, especially with those big contracts or big corporate stuff, these people have no time. Like, they sometimes give you, let's say, 20 minutes or half an hour to meet with them and discuss potential contract. So you have to be on time, because if you miss that, they already gonna know like you don't respect their time, and that's pretty much might kind of end up your potential potential job. Okay, so number two, look professional and wear, you know, professional clothes to those meetings. I've learned so many times, and I've seen so many photographers, you know, well, I don't want to say they wear sloppy clothing, but you know, especially with those, as I said, big clients, like, you have to look professional. And the first impression you make on them, they're gonna judge you right away. So even, you know, we are sometimes freelancer photographers, and you know, like, we don't wear professional clothes on daily basis and whenever we shoot. But I found for those kind of meetings, make sure you wear, you know, good clothing, which gonna make you like you're professional. The next thing is, let's say you get to the meeting, so that's number 3, be confident. I know it's easy to say, it's much harder to do, but if you're gonna look scared and you're gonna look like, you know, you don't know what's going on, and you just like look afraid of what's happening, that also is gonna send not the good signal to the potential, you know, employer. And I'm not saying like you have to be cocky, or I don't know, just you know, showing off, you know, something which, I don't know, you're gonna be pretending you're confident. I found, you know, like, you have to stand up and you have to, you know, have certain manners, and invite these people, and then make sure, you know, they also kind of get that sense from you that, you know what you're doing, and also you coming confident to the meeting, and you know, you're gonna pretty much present them, you know, everything what they looking for. Another tip, this is number 4, I always prepare myself before the meeting by researching the company I will be dealing with. This is very important, because you know what, I've learned that back in the days where, you know, I did the research on the company, and you know, we had the meeting, we were discussing certain things, and it's good to know who you're dealing with. And also, you know, little things, by knowing stuff about the company might score you big points. And this is the example. I actually had a meeting, and this company won some award year before, and during the meeting I brought that up. I said to them, look, you know, I check your website, and then, you know, I've seen you guys won this big award, and I would like to say big congratulations, this is awesome. And I got basically hired on that, because afterwards, when we you know, had the photo shoot, the owner of the company told me that was breaking point for him, because he felt that, you know, I have interest in their company, I did research, and you know, I know more than everybody else. So it's good to be prepared for stuff like that. I think this is nothing worse when you show up on the meeting and they ask you, so what do you know about our company? And I know sometimes it's even a headshot, but you know, they also want to know that you are interested in working with them, and you want to know something about them. And as I said, this is nothing worse when they ask you, you know, do you know what we are doing? And you say like, well, I have no clue. That's gonna show you that you simply don't care. So this is just a little thing, but this is gonna definitely helps you to, you know, maybe score some points during the meeting. Sometimes it works, sometimes, you know, you might not have a chance to bring that up, but knowing who you're dealing with is important. I also would like to add that sometimes, and that was also my experience when I was doing research, I was finding out some bad stuff about a company, which also kind of raised some red flags. Do I even want to work with them? So that's another, I would say, tip which might definitely help you to kind of knowing a little bit more before the meeting. Another thing what I want to say, and this is one of the most important thing, and this is number 5, which is you have to listen. Because I found, and this also was my biggest mistakes most of the time when I started my career, I was going to those meetings and I was having the, you know, the kind of pep talk ready to go, and I was trying to just tell them everything what I wanted to say, and that is the biggest mistake. Usually nowadays I'm trying to listen as much as possible. I want to know what these people are looking for, what they need, what they want, and this is much easier to tell them at the end of the day what they want to hear. and you don't have to go through some of those stuff which they don't want to know or they don't want to hear about you. They will give you the guideline, what they after and what they want and what they're looking for. So my strategy for most of those meetings is I'm doing also interview with them, and I want to find out a little bit more about their what this company is all about. As I said, what they're looking for, what kind of headshots they want, and that gives you clarity on how to even, you know, kind of take this meeting and how to discuss certain things. The next thing is, and this is kind of related what I was just saying, number 6 is, you know, be kind of straight to the point. Nobody want to listen, you know, your life story or some issues or some of your problems. Don't badmouth other photographers. This is a big one, and this is what I want to also point it out. Whenever you go to those meetings and they're going to bring up some names of other photographers, never ever badmouth those people, because that's going to be like death sentence for you. And I've learned that because they tricked me into this kind of conversation when I just raised my opinion about some other photographer, and that was the biggest mistake. And actually they pointed out later on to me that, you know what, yeah, we would hire you, but you know, the way you deal with other people and that's how you're raising your opinions about different photographers is not what we want to listen to. And I just want to kind of point this out, because this is really, really important, that, you know what, as I said, try to stay positive, and even if they ask you to judge someone, don't. Be neutral. Never ever try to, as I said, make any comments, or, you know, even, you know, stuff and maybe, you know, this other photographer doesn't have a good opinion. This is not of your business. Don't share that. This is something which, you know, is off the table every time. Okay, so number 7. Number 7 is only bring the best work, and work which is related to the project. And this is, I also kind of give you a little bit of backstory about this. Nobody wants to see, I don't know, a million photos from, like, you know, your entire career. Like, they want to see 10 photos max from, you know, your previous photo shoots, and that should help them to make the judgment if they like the work or not. Sometimes they can see your website and also kind of can see, but I've been in some meetings where you know, they want to see work basically handed to them. On the top of that, I also want to say that you want to show the work which is related to this project which you are going to take on. I remember back in the days, and this is true story, I'm not lying to you, before I even started shooting headshots, I was approached by one of the sports teams in Calgary, and they asked me to do some portrait work. And I went to the meeting. There's a big deal, there's a huge sports team in Calgary, and they invited me for the meeting. We had discussion, great, and then they asked me to show them my work. Because I didn't have kind of work related to that project, I pretty much showed them the stuff which I was doing at that time, and that was kind of wedding work, and that was a big mistake, because, you know what, I should try to at least shoot something in the meantime before the meeting, and I had that time to do that. I was just like, I don't know, I didn't want to do it, and I didn't thought this through as well. So I showed them the wedding stuff, and I was trying to kind of like maneuver the meeting that, you know, I'm able to do the stuff what they're looking for, and they didn't hire me. And the guy told me at the end, like, you know, if you would look wedding photographer, we would call the wedding photographer, but, you know, this is not what we're looking for. So what I want to say is that, you know, make sure if you get some kind of project on the table, try to show them only the work which is related to that, because that's how they're going to make the judgment. And again, even if you have 5 pictures, show them 5 pictures. If you have 1, show them 1, but it's better to show them something which is related to the project than something which is completely off, and you know, like, you're just gonna make a, I don't want to say fool of yourself, but you know, like, that's gonna be automatically okay. big no-no for the company to work with you. Okay, number 9. So number 9 is, and this is another big one, don't offer discounts just because you want to get the job. This is one of those, I think, biggest things what people do nowadays, that, you know, before the negotiation is over, or, you know, the potential clients will try to negotiate the price or kind of get some deal, you throwing the discount right on the spot. Don't do that. This is actually showing your weakness. That is showing that you're desperate for work, and this is not a good sign. If the potential client asks about the discount, then you can negotiate it, what you can do, or I don't know, try to work with something to make them happy. But I remember back in the days, that was my biggest mistake. I was trying to get the client, and then in the middle of the meeting, I was like, you know, I can give you better price if we're gonna do this, or, you know, I'll give you discount if you do that. No, don't do that, because that's kind of cause more damage to most of those negotiations that actually just bring something positive out of it. And I know it's tough, and I know sometimes we really want this job and we want to do everything what we can to get it, but this is not the way to do that. I think sometimes we have to kind of pace ourselves and then just, you know, keep the mouth shut and listen, you know, what these people are saying, and you know, try to kind of go with the flow and actually use this in our advantage in the right moment, not when, you know, like we just kind of desperate and then, you know, we want to get the job. Okay, so number 10, and this is also, I found, a really important one. Doesn't matter how you feel about a meeting, doesn't matter how this everything kind of went, what kind of impression you got from the meeting. I always follow up with email. So basically the same day or the next morning, I usually draft some emails saying thank you for the meeting, for the opportunity, and you know, looking forward for, you know, email from them if they're interested or they would like to hire me. You know, there's some basic kind of stuff what I'm trying to kind of tell them, that if they have any questions or I've missed something, I'll be more than happy to answer them. So, and that's also kind of important. That means that, you know, you still care. You're not left the meeting and you just like, okay, I'm done. And also that helped me many times. I remember back in the days, I had one particular company which actually told me that out of 10 people who you know, actually applied for the job and they interviewed, I got the job because, you know, I was the only one who actually replied to them and follow up and said thank you for the meeting, and then that's impressed them. So, you know what, in conclusion, what I want to say, like, you have to be prepared for everything. Those pointers what I gave you, I'm always going for them. I always try to kind of perfect them on every negotiation or every meeting, but you know, you just never know what's gonna trigger the potential client to hire you. As I said, is pictures, is your professionalism, is your discount, is the way you actually approach the meeting. You just never know. So it's extremely important to kind of like, you know, make sure that every this little detail is done properly, because then you have higher chances to get potential work. And that comes also, in my case, from experience, and I've made those mistakes. You know, I've learned along the way, and I remember back in the days but I also like when people point this out and told me, look, you screw up here, this is what you shouldn't say or you shouldn't do, and for the next meeting, remember. And I always trying to kind of write those things down to make sure that, you know, I'm not gonna make this mistake again. So I'm sharing that with you guys, and hopefully that will help you with your negotiations and you know, getting the potential clients. And the person who wrote me that email, I'm not gonna mention the name. I'm gonna email you back that I done this vlog for you, and hopefully that will help you, and you can analyze you know, the meetings you had, and maybe you will find the mistakes you've done along the way. So hopefully that will help. Anyways, I hope that was interesting. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope that's helped you with your upcoming, you know, negotiations. If you would like to add something to this, please add the comment, or send me a message. I would love to hear your opinion, because that's maybe there is something I didn't experience yet, and that will help me in the future. So stay tuned. Wishing you guys a fantastic week, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye bye. Please stay in touch, and I'll be looking forward to hear from you guys, and have a fantastic week. Please use that idea if you guys can. Send me the images, and I will be looking forward to see them, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Bye bye.